Here we are with Migo Manz of Holden Manz. He's the Manz part. Migo has an architecture background and is an art curator, and he's the reason why this place inside looks the way it does. I would love for you to show me inside, show me everything that I can see. So without further ado, let's go inside.
Let's go inside. Where do we start? Okay, well, we're in the manor house, which is completely center symmetrical with a feng shui laid out architecture and basically full of art, which all is from my gallery. So It's all South African art, it's all artists that are signed with me, and it's all art that I love. Very simple. Now, obviously an eclectic mix, and it's full of art, and sometimes it's a bit too full for me, but it changes the whole time as we work with the artists, and we sell art straight out of here as well.
Walk me through the house.
Look at this work, for example. It's Lisette Forsyth, who's one of my best-selling artists, and also the one who's the most productive. She works on vintage newspapers, she works on any things she finds on building sites, she carves into them, she spray paints onto them, and she uses mainly acrylics on the works.
Super cool.
And then mixed with completely different works. That's used to be a friend of mine who passed away, who was the best friend of Picasso, photographer Reveres from France, which is actually probably the only European artist you find in here, but I'm quite proud as we were the only ever African art space who did the solo show for him in his lifetime. McKellar oil paintings. She always has like these very industrial looking inner city scapes of abandoned dilapidated buildings or Kourou scenes. I came across her, loved her work, and bought a big chunk for our private collection and then signed her up. For example, David Reed glasses, who we only signed on about a year ago. He used to be in Franschhoek. The gallery that he was with doesn't exist anymore, and by chance we met, and since then I now have him signed on, and it's the most amazing glassblower of South Africa.
It's awesome.
And we can't get enough of his work. We also ship these, and they're amazing because they're so heavy, but shipment goes by weight. So
how much?
I'd say you can lift one up and feel. And don't drop it.
That's a heavy piece of glass.
I'd say 20 kilos. Here's a Lionel Smit, which I was lucky enough to get at the auction when no one knew that it was Lionel Smit, and they all thought it's a sculpture that's nice, but they all came for a sports auction. I came for the art, and since then it's been here, and I could have sold it 100 times. But
probably before 100 times what you paid for it as well.
Possibly. Here two works which are very close to me. Adriaan van Zyl, he unfortunately passed away at the same age as his father passed away when he was 43 of the same cancer. He was very, very, very pedantic with his work, and you can see he basically finds safety in geometry. And when I saw these, it was 2006 when I arrived in South Africa. A friend of mine who has a gallery introduced me to his work, which was the retrospective, and I loved those two works, and I took a photo and had them as a screensaver on my phone, thinking they're amazing, that's it. And then half a year later his mother put them up for sale, and I picked them up, and these are the pieces. If the house burns down, I probably would run here and take them and walk out with them.
Love it. What about those big ones up there?
Those big ones are there. Funny enough, the one on the left is Lisette Forsyth, portrait by Vanessa Berlein, two other artists that shared the studio with Vanessa Berlein. Vanessa Berlein does big oil paintings. These ones are on paper, which is extraordinary, and she just brings out the person that she draws. And I loved her work so much that I commissioned her, but I didn't want us as a family big on the wall.
And I love these scarf stroke blankets. What's their story?
So these are throws by Corinne Bell. So Corinne Bell, when I opened my second gallery in Franschhoek, a friend of mine gave me a whole list of saying, like, I love your gallery. If you do a second gallery, which is more luxury goods, then you need to have her. But she's very hard to get hold of. So by chance, I got hold of her the next day, and we met. And it's Corinne Bell, who lives between Cape Town, India, where she produces these, where basically widows, she only uses widows to support them, stitch the poetry on that she finds and decides on. and then put those bands and everything around. So it's basically an art piece, but an art piece that you can wear.
And is each piece unique?
Each piece is a unique piece. There's only one of each. The poetry sometimes, obviously, she repeats a couple of times, but everything else is a complete unique piece. This one she gave me to me as a present when she stayed like 2 weeks ago or so. Like I have one in every car just to have as a comfort blanket for me, just to feel good about life.
So let's drift away from the house, the art, etc., and let's talk about you and the stuff you wear, because very, very few people have such an interest in jewelry the way I do. Obviously not such chunky pieces.
Yeah, I toned it down a bit.
Yeah. But why don't you talk to us about what you've got on the wedding finger?
Okay, well, that's a ring that became my wedding ring, and the diamonds are hidden on the inside.
Please show us.
The whole point is that they are hidden, but now you actually see them. Then you can see them. Should do with that light. So I love it because it just looks like a wedding band, which it is. But on the inside, again, something. Actually, I meditate with it, which is just a nice thing that you want to have the beauty on the inside, not just on the outside. And this one I bought at the design in Daba, possibly 12, 13, 14 years ago, from a designer who's also professor of jewelry in Stellenbosch.
Oh, really?
I can't, for love nor money, find his name anymore, because I would like to have a second one. It's kind of my Donnie Darko bunny.
And are those diamonds in
and
there?
Those are diamonds. He had the choice, he only made 10 of them, and you could have rubies or diamonds or sapphires, I think. So, no, I love it. And when the kids were small, I could just hide it in there and wouldn't hurt them. Handling them as little babies. All the watches are in service right now. So they're all out.
So talk to us what's going on.
And then here...
is that Cartier?
That's a Cartier, which was a present for being together for far too long. And the other ones are works that we actually sell in our gallery space as well. So the hides come from Europe, the leather comes from Europe, the metal, funny enough, comes from Europe as well, and then it's woven by Zulu women here.
What is the metal?
So it's pewter, very simple, and it's woven here and then put together. It's Diane Landmann who makes them. In Europe, there's a big hit coming from Sweden, but then she basically took the idea but said, let's empower people here who put them together and make them. Then that one is Patrick Muff, who's
he's German,
Munich designer who's very baroque, very, very beautiful works. I got quite a few pieces from him. This one is black pearl. Yeah, it's silver and black pearls. And the black pearls are getting smaller and smaller, hence, and the metal stretches, so it's a bit big right now.
Yeah, I've seen his works online before.
It's just brilliant.
It's just stunning stuff.
Actually, when we got married in lederhosen, and I made the charivari, which is the thing that you wear in front of the lederhosen, which has like lots of trinkets on it. I had him design 2 of them with our names and everything that relates to us. But my favorite piece is quite funny. It's hidden underneath here right now, and it's basically here. I don't know where you can see it. It's a black string, which Hero, our daughter, put on in February.
Okay.
So it's basically been there for nearly half a year, and it's just a string. I can't believe that it survives between all of that.
Very good. Right, so we share one more love, you and I.
Let me guess. It has 4 wheels.
It very much has 4 wheels. Shall we have a look?
We can have a look.